face and start kicking ass, just like it said at the beginning of the program.
Man of the hour, tower of power, too sweet to be sour.
Sending your ass on the jabroni jet to the other side of the territory, brother.
The Alabama Hammer.
Nightmares on the best part of my day.
The goods from the woods.
Hot damn!
Welcome to The Goods from the Woods. My name is Rivers Langley. This is episode number 240, and we've got another edition of the Wheel of Fast Food coming up in just a moment. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll go to Disgraceland to share that little piece of audio with you. But first, I am live here in sunny Burbank with our friend from the Film Guff podcast,
Nick Jones. How's it going?
Nick Jones. Man, this is so Nick Jones and I have been Twitter friends for what, about 2, maybe 3 years at this point?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Basically,
And-
since I started the job I'm at, when I started to catch up on the goods.
And but this is the first time we've ever actually met in person, so it's good to
Yep.
have you on finally.
I'd say it's good to be here, but we are in Burbank in a fancy hotel, so I mean, we got to keep it down, I guess.
Oh yeah. This is a 5-star deal over here. Yeah, keep it kayfabe, baby. We're gonna shut down the Marriott tonight like Ric Flair. That's
right.
Or the Travel Lodge.
Yeah, whatever, same thing, really.
Whatever. But yeah, man, this is fun. I was just telling Nick across the street from where we are now is one of my favorite stores in LA, which is the Fry's Electronics, which is an insane store that's like a science fiction alien invasion themed electronics store.
Fantastic.
But then in addition to electronics, so they have their like electronic nerd bona fides at Fry's where you can buy like little motors and like stuff if you're in the robot club at the local high school.
Wow.
But then also they have a huge section that's nothing but made for TV gimmicks. So it's like, the egg wave and the copper pots and all that weird shit. And the last time I was there, I got a couple of the bamboo My Pillows.
Oh, yeah.
so-
And how comfortable are those?
They're pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go hopefully explore the Fry's a little later. But
Seeing all the sights.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess to start off, Nick, tell everybody about the Film Guff podcast. You guys were nice enough to have me on as a guest where we discussed the film The Hudsucker Proxy a few month ago.
Yes, indeed.
But it's a fun show, man. Tell everybody a little bit about the show.
So I didn't start the show. I was a guest on it a couple of times, and they're like, "Hey, do you just want to be on here since you won't go away?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so. Why not?"
And
So
those are European Twitter
Yes.
friends of yours.
Yes, they're Ali and Kev, both in the UK, and it was basically like, "Oh, do you want to be a part of this?" I'm like, "Sure," but I don't do things. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to Photoshop, nothing like that. I'm like, I can talk about movies all day. Sure. I'm like, I also know lots of people. Like, I'll ask whoever you like.
Yeah.
If you let me off the leash, it's a dangerous thing because I'll ask anyone. I don't care. The worst I can say
Sure.
is no.
Yeah.
So if it's just us, we'll talk about whatever movies we're going to talk about. They get screeners and stuff from promo companies in the UK. They're like, hey, talk about this movie, whatever, do a review on it or whatever. So we'll do that. But when we have guests on, like when we had you on, it was like, hey, what's your quote-unquote hidden gem of a movie? That movie, when you're talking to people about something, you're like, yeah, there's this movie that, that's kind of where you set the barometer of how you feel about this person. If you mention this movie, if they've seen it or not seen it or whatever.
Right. Yeah, and I picked Hudsucker Proxy because it's as far as the Coen Brothers oeuvre goes, it's stationed right in between Fargo and I guess Miller's Crossing, which are two much more like kind of well known or at least more critically lauded of their films.
Yep.
And so that for me is always, I mean, it's a movie that people know about, but I figured it would be fun to talk about. My favorite thing about the podcast is because obviously you and I are American fellas, so we sound like we're from here. But then when I went and listened back to it, to have those strong English and Irish voices just makes it sound classy as shit. I felt like I was on a 5-star podcast.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're the number. I think it was like 84 in Berlin as the country that we're the number
In
84.
which one?
I don't remember.
Benin?
Yeah, something like that. I'm like, I've never heard of this
Benin?
place.
In Africa? Togo?
Yes.
Togo, Benin? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Origin place of voodoo.
See,
Yeah.
it tracks. So Ali and Kev are both in the UK. I'm in the South Shore of Massachusetts, and you're in California. So that's 4 schedules, 3 time zones. It's real fun trying to organize all of that stuff too.
Yeah, sure. But had a good time. So yeah, check out all the episodes of Film Guff, but definitely the Hudsucker Proxy app. what movie have you seen lately, if any, that is that's really grabbed you? Like, what are you raving about these days?
Well, it's the one I was talking to you about. Last night, this morning, whatever, that I watched yesterday morning, The Lords of Chaos.
Oh, and
with-
it's about the death metal Norwegian church arsons and
Yes, it's fucking
murders.
bananas.
I bet. And it's Rory Culkin, right?
Yep.
And I think I said to you, if you haven't seen it, we'll throw this up on our Twitter. We're at the Goods Pod. I'll put up the trailer for this. Those Culkin kids are, when they want to turn on the scary,
Yep.
between that and Party Monster, they can be pretty creepy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure just walking down the street, they're kind of creepy, just because of whatever. But yeah, it's in the movie is just it's a heavy movie. So I watched it at 6 a.m., which is a real bad choice on my part.
When you told me that, I realized like that's about when I was in about, I guess 2009 would be when it came out. I was I just graduated college and I was still living in an apartment in Alabama, and I was dealing with a little bit of insomnia, and so I decided to throw on. I'd never seen it before, but a friend of mine got me a file so I could watch it. I put on at 6 a.m. The Hurt Locker, which
yep.
what a great way to start your day. So.
Yeah, it makes you feel some things, and you're like, oh, I have to go face the world today.
Like I
chose so poorly.
I did end up sleeping though. I think that broke the streak. I watched.
I can see that.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. You know what did it? I watched The Hurt Locker and I was still awake. And so after that, I watched the movie A Serious Man, speaking of the Coen brothers, and realized that in order to I was like, it was one of those movies where I was like, I like this. I don't think I'm smart enough to fully grasp what I'm watching. And so I ended up doing a lot of research on Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, Schrodinger's cat, and the Book of Job. And that's what killed the insomnia streak. That finally got to sleep when I was cracking open the old Bible that I got as a gift from one of my mom's Christian friends when I was 3, reading the Book of Job, trying to understand the Coen's newest film. That is when sleep finally came to me. But yeah, you told me you watched this movie about Norwegian death metal and murder and arson and mayhem at 6 a.m. I was like, yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But in the trailer, nobody has Norwegian accents. That was the one
that's
thing.
very, very strange. And so the first lead singer is from Sweden.
Is he Swedish?
The first lead singer guy.
Yeah.
And then they get another guy later on, but
Hieronymus, right?
Yeah, he's the guitar player or whatever. So he's in it from the beginning.
That's right. That's right.
But nobody has an accent. They're all talking normal. I'm like, well, he's from another country from you guys, so shouldn't somebody have an accent?
Yeah. Although I'm sure did you watch The Death of Stalin?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So Death of Stalin, that was one of the fun little choices they made with that movie. Is like no attempt at a Russian accent on anybody's part. It was just Steve Buscemi being Steve Buscemi, Jeffrey Tambor being Jeffrey Tambor. Like nobody, and even the English actors were just speaking in their English accents.
Was it supposed to be like a thing where like, what is it, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, we have, what is it, the babblefish in your ear? So everybody just talks normal, but they're actually speaking their native language. So we, as the moviegoer, would expect, oh no, that's just the way they talk. We're supposed to assume that they're all speaking Russian.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're dodging that heavy bullet that oh shit, what was the Tom Cruise film where he played the good Nazi that tried to kill Hitler? Shit. Valkyrie, there we go. Yeah, where everybody was doing like light German accents and everybody's like, just either fucking do it
or don't. Don't half-ass is
don't
nonsense.
get Tom Cruise for this. Like,
yep.
Find a German actor. Death of Stalin was more of a comedy than anything. It was played very funny. As soon as I realized, like, oh, they're not even going to attempt.
They're not even going to try. This is just what it is.
I kind of liked it, but with, and again, I've only seen the trailer for Lords of Chaos, but based on the trailer, I was like, oh, this seems like super duper heavy, but I feel like, am I going to be distracted by no one doing a voice?
I don't really think so, just the way the movie plays out. You know what I mean? It definitely has enough to grab you because it's a real fucked up story.
The subject matter, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm basically familiar with it just from a combination of Last Podcast on the Left and VH1's 100 Most Shocking Moments of Rock and Roll. And it's Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray trying to talk about eating brains in the nicest way.
Yeah, I mean, like, so there's a scene in the movie where the original lead singer kills himself. It's a true story, whatever, so it's not really a spoiler.
Eat his brain, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But, like, the scene in the movie, he slices his wrists, then he cuts his throat, and then he shoots himself in the head. It's
Did
like
he
that
die?
motherfucker really wanted to die.
Did he die? What happened?
Exactly. It's like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, any one of the three things, you could either cut yourself, or just shot yourself in the head and save yourself the pain of cutting your arms and then your throat.
Yeah,
But
sure.
It was real fucked up.
Yeah, well,
that was at about 6:25 in the morning that I saw that. So
it's early on. This isn't a spoiler.
Oh no!
It's like
real early in the morning.
First 10 minutes. Yeah,
real early in the movie. And that's when they have the band Mayhem, and then that happens, and then they don't have a lead singer, and he opens up a record shop. He sells real black metal too. It's like, oh, anybody that comes in here is just like, they're gonna know what they're gonna know, and if they don't, they're posers, and we'll be able to know who's a poser and whatever. And then this guy comes in, he sees him outside of a show, and he's got a Scorpions patch on his jacket. They just point at it and said Scorpions and walk away from him and basically just mock him.
Oh no! Oh, so they're not down with the winds of change. No.
So then that kid ends up coming back later on and picks up the stuff, and he's the one that actually starts the whole church burning.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
It's a very weird fucking movie.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that? The VH1 100 most shocking moments of rock and roll.
Nope.
It seemingly was just always on from the time I was in about 10th grade when it first aired until sophomore year of college. It was just perpetually on, and it was hosted by Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
Yep.
And I remember that's how I heard about the whole Norwegian black metal thing, is because that was on the list. But somehow a man blowing his brains out, having his bandmates eat them, and then them burning down medieval churches all across Norway in the name of the devil and white supremacy. Somehow that's not the most shocking moment
It's like
of rock
number
and roll.
85. But
It was.
It's like Motley Crue banged all these hookers. It's like, yeah, they're Motley Crue. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, one of them was Nikki Sixx died for 2 minutes, and you're like, yeah, but this guy ate a brain of a man. What do you mean? I guess the number one was the death of John Lennon, which whatever. Fucking Mark David Chapman didn't eat his brains.
Right? He's like, yes, he got shot. Yes, that's whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, that could have been number two if you're just going by deaths. But this guy slit his wrist, his throat, and then shot himself in the head.
Well, then they ate him. That's
yes.
Yeah, suicide, whatever. Yeah, I think Kurt Cobain was number 2, and you're like, still.
Yep, still.
Dave Grohl didn't then feast on his fucking mortal remains.
Very true. But I mean,
I guess it'd be Chris Novoselic if anybody, just because Dave works.
Yep.
But it was just always funny, where it would be Mark McGrath, and they had him in front of a bunch of candles. I remember this, and there's kind of a dark background, and he'd be like, metal is all about being hardcore, but this band in Norway took things a little too far. And then they start telling you the story, and you're like, buddy, that's
a little too far?
That's more than a little too far. This is the most fucked up story I've ever heard. And then next it's just like, oh man, the Scorpions trashed their hotel room or whatever. And you're like, hey, but he ate a brain.
Yep.
Yeah, so oh my god.
Yeah, so I had heard about the movie to begin with before, and then which Culkin is it?
It's Rory.
Rory, he was on Jamie Joss's podcast, and they talked about it. So
oh, no shit. Yeah,
it was
okay.
a little bit so there's a little bit more of a backstory. So I was like, all right, now I want to see it more after hearing what he was saying. And Jossa has a story about how he had been at some festival somewhere, and Mayhem was there, and they have the pig's heads on sticks. And someone that he knows was like, I'm going to lick the pig. And everyone in Mayhem's like, no, don't do that. It's a real you will get very, very ill.
Oh, God.
Please do not do that.
Oh, God. They have actual pig heads on stage? I love that the band is still going, too.
Yeah, see, I'm not, a big fan of death metal. As far as, with death metal would go, I would like listening to the actual music until the singer comes in and does whatever it is he does and screams. I'm like, I can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. I have no interest in what you have to say. But the music itself, sure. But
yeah. I think I've said on the show before, my fandom of metal is very much based on if I can understand.
Exactly. I am 100% with you on that one.
Which I would be the first to admit. I'm not, a deep metalhead by any. I like your Ozzy, your Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, that kind of stuff. And Motorhead is the outer limits of being able to understand what the guy says, but I can at least understand, I was born to lose and gambling's for fools, but that's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. That fucking rules.
Yep.
But yeah, when you get into that,
it's like those aren't words.
Shit. Yeah.
It's, the Ace Ventura showed it perfectly with Cannibal Corpse. When he's bouncing around the thing. It's like, I can't understand words that come out of your mouth. I'm good.
The story behind that is hilarious, by the way, because
something with Jim Carrey wanted them there, right? Because he's a ridiculous metalhead.
It's almost the exact same story as John Belushi getting Fear on Saturday Night Live, where he was like, "I'll come back and guest host, but I get to pick the band." And Jim Carrey and that's it's kind of incredible because that's his first big American studio film, and He was like, they were like, oh, we have a scene where you're gonna go through a concert. He's like, well, we got to get Cannibal Corpse, and that's how they got him in the
Fucking
movie.
crazy.
Yeah. So mad respect to Jim Carrey for getting Cannibal Corpse a film credit in a very successful movie.
Very true.
Yeah. Have you watched Us?
I did see Us.
Yeah. What did you think?
I liked it. I mean, like for me, it wasn't like super scary.
Right.
I saw it and I was like,
yeah.
all right, it's a good. Like I enjoy the movie or whatever, but like. I don't know how much spoiler you want to go, but like,
yeah, we'll say spoilers ahoy.
So you saw it, right?
I did. Yeah.
They show like the girl getting choked at the beginning in the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm like, but you just like I try not to sit there and piece things together as watching the movie. I'm just trying to watch the movie. Like I don't
Right.
have like I try to go in also with low expectations because then you can't be disappointed. But I mean, I didn't think it was all that scary. So
Yeah. Well, see, that was my. Because I've now been having this, sort of discussion with a lot of people for the past week, and the sort of split the baby Solomon way, like that I've come to start talking about this movie is like I was not scared by it at any point, so I don't necessarily think it was an effective horror film, but just as an allegory for capitalism, it's fucking amazing. I'd put it right up there with like Sorry to Bother You from last year.
that movie takes a real fucked up turn.
That
that left turn that comes out of nowhere. You're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah.
Basically, once he hits the rap, it just hard left.
Yeah. That might have been my favorite movie of last year. Just if for no other reason, just mad respect for a hard left like that.
Oh yeah, fucking ridiculous hard left.
But with Us, yeah, I thought it was a very effective allegory. But what was funny was the person who I saw the movie with, who will remain anonymous. I'll only give you the hint that it's definitely somebody who's been on our podcast a bunch.
Shit, don't narrow it down.
We walk out and I'm just like, we're kind of discussing it, and I'm just like, oh, it's sort of an allegory for like everybody who gets to enjoy their life in the first world. 5 people in the third world have to like suffer and die needlessly, just for our existence and blah blah blah. And I'm kind of going on, and just goes like, I don't think it was like an allegory for anything. I was like, what the fuck? Then what is the movie? So anyway, just made my blood boil after that movie. Just like, oh no, it's not an allegory for anything. It's like, yeah. So no, I did enjoy that one, but you're right. I did not. And yeah, they kind of spoilers, like they give away the twist immediately because she's sitting in the psychiatrist office and she just goes, I just want my daughter back. I was like, oh, she's the double, duh. And then the rest of the movie I was just able to watch. So yeah, it was weird that people were like, yeah, I didn't really like the twist at the end. I was like, it wasn't at the end, it was at the beginning.
Son, that shit's in the trailer.
Yeah. I knew immediately. You're supposed to watch it through the lens of like, oh yeah, this it's a comment on capital and human potential, shit like that. So, but yeah, I did dig that. What else? That was the only one that I've seen recently that's really worth commenting on besides Captain Marvel, which very very much a cursory whatever Marvel film, but I did see them. You were actually about 2 blocks away from where the Blockbuster film set was.
Awesome.
And I saw them doing that, but I didn't know what the hell it was.
You just saw Blockbuster, you're like, what the fuck is happening here?
So, dig this, man. My bank is right there, and that's where I go deposit at that Wells Fargo. And one day I pull up, and they had turned the entire, it's like a dead strip mall, basically back there, nothing in it. And I pull in, and there was an old school Walmart, and then next to it, they had an old school Blockbuster fake that they had, that you see in the movie. The Wells Fargo is still there, and then there's a dollar theater that I go see movies at sometimes. You're in like the doldrums of movie season, and we're just now coming out of them, where the dollar theater is better than the first run, where you're like, oh, there's actually shit I would go see here.
Yeah, because I have the AMC A-list thing, so it's $20 a month, and I see 3 movies a week, whatever.
I do it as well, yeah.
And I'm like, Captain Marvel. And literally, that's fucking it.
Right.
So
that was all I wanted to see. But they have that dollar theater there.
Yep.
And I pull in, and the dollar theater, and they didn't show this in the movie, and I'm pissed because it was such a funny detail. So at the dollar movie, they had these giant advertisements for Speed 2 cruise control.
That's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, and that was the big thing. And I just pulled into my Wells Fargo and looked around. I was like, what the fuck? Like they turned this weird dead strip mall into like a 90s paradise. So I was like, what? And I didn't piece together what movie that was. And then as soon as I saw the beginning of Captain Marvel, when she like crash lands in the Blockbuster, I was like, oh shit, that's my Wells Fargo. Like,
I know what that is.
That's my bank. Yeah. So this is how much of a LA basic bitch I still am, even after all these years of being like, hey, that's my neighborhood.
Yeah, there you go.
I know that, Wells Fargo. So, but yeah, sorry. But yeah, if you've any other movies you've seen recently that you'd recommend to the people?
I would have to think, just because. So my goal this year was to watch a new movie every day. The first
How's that going?
I missed Thursday, but I am
But
at
it's because you were on the way out here, right?
50. No, I actually watched a new movie. I watched Can You Ever Forgive Me on the plane, so that counted for Friday. But Thursday, I was at PAX East in Boston. So I was like not around all day / all night. So
Yeah.
I just didn't watch a movie. But
That's insane.
yeah, I'm at like 150 or something movies.
Wow, man.
I watched Superfast, which made me real sad.
Super fast?
It's the spoof of the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh no! Is it like the guys who make like disaster movie and that kind of shit?
Yeah, it's those people.
Oh Lord, why
But-
did you do that?
But I watched it for another podcast.
Oh, okay, all right.
So-
that's the
that
first.
actually released, recently is that because one of the guys, it's the So Fast So Furious podcast where they break down the Fast and Furious movies 15 minutes at a time because
Okay.
Dom lives 15 seconds at a
15
time.
seconds at a
Yeah.
time or whatever. Yeah.
And so they're like, oh well, since one of the guys can't be there, do you want to be on?
Yeah.
We'll do something like a different episode just because it's not all three regular guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, whatever. And it's like, oh, we're gonna watch Superfast. I'm like, I've never heard of this movie.
I got for a minute when you said super fast for a second there. I was thinking, I was like, is that snail movie where the snail's fast? But I believe
That's just Turbo.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad that we both knew that real quick. But yeah, so I watched that and was displeased. I was sad that Anthony Ray Bench made me watch that.
I was. They should put that on the poster. Displeased.
Yes,
Film
I
Guff
mean,
podcast.
Anthony has also been on Film Guff, and he talked about Out Cold, which I think we talked about when we talked about how he was on it, and you were like, Out Cold, the snowboard movie? I'm like, yeah,
that's
the movie.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got kind of thrown under the bus pretty hard on that one and got to watch that. They released it on April 1st as an April Fool's episode.
Oh, okay, fun.
So kind of double fucked me, I guess.
Well, dang, we should have done that. Shit. What? Is there anyone of note? Like, I feel like that's one of those movies where there's no famous people, but then like Ron Jeremy's in it for a
Nope.
second. No,
Nope.
no famouses.
No famouses that I'm aware of.
No shit, that's incredible.
And the guy that so it's kind of like the first Fast and Furious
When
movie.
did it come
in
out, by the way?
2015.
Okay.
But when we were talking about it, it's kind of like it didn't get a theatrical release, and it's probably
Why?
It's probably around the time that Paul Walker died. So they cut out
no.
they cut out a whole bunch of stuff. Like, so there's the first race scene or whatever. His car stops at the finish line, so he doesn't
And explodes.
probably like the cops get there and they like beat him up, whatever, and the car is black, but they never show it becoming black. So I'm guessing it's one of those things where like
Oh, no.
it caught fire and he came out of the car like and like pat himself down like as a joke or whatever.
Yeah.
As how those spoof movies do.
Right.
But Paul Walker kind of literally died really that way. So like, you know what?
Died exactly that way.
We'll pump the brakes on this one and we'll try to figure out how to cut around and do other shit. So it's basically the first Fast and
We
Furious.
have to get this out. We
Yes.
can't possibly
It can't-
put this on the
it
shelf.
can't be shelved.
We have to get this out. The people need to know.
They need to see it.
They need to see super fast.
No, you don't.
the parody the world has been waiting for.
But what I had said is, I was never really a big fan of the spoof movies anyways. Like the last one I saw in the theater was, I think, Date Movie. And then after that, I'm like, Kick Rocks. These are all terrible.
What was the first one of those?
Scary Movie, I think.
That's right.
Like of the new generation. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. That's right. Because it was, I was trying to remember because I was like, it started off somewhat legitimately.
Yeah, like Scary
and
Movie
then-
1 and 2 are okay.
Yeah. I didn't even mean legitimately like they were,
Yeah.
just that they were successful. at
Yes.
some
And then
point.
Not Another Teen Movie was kind of in that vein.
Yeah.
And I think they're up to like 5 or 6 scary movies. And there was Epic Movie and
Yeah.
Disaster Movie
Disaster
and Superhero Movie. And it's like, no.
Date movie. Yeah.
Meet the Spartans.
Meet the Spartans.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that is on the poster for Superfast. It's like, oh, by the people that brought you Meet the Spartans. It's like hard pass.
The sad reality of the medium that we both participate in, that being podcasting, is that as Ecclesiastes says, there's nothing new under the sun, and every good idea I've ever had, I've looked it up and I'm like, fuck, that's already a podcast.
Yep.
I was like, what would be cool would be to watch every WWE/WWF release in chronological order, starting with No Holds Barred, and then up through the Marine 7 or whatever they're doing now, like those direct
Yep.
DVD shits. And I was like, oh, that'd be so funny because then we could talk about wrestling, we could talk about movies, and the weird movie stars that are in it. Look it up. There's already 3 podcasts doing.
Oh, of
that.
course
And I was
there
like, God damn it! And one of them had a great name too. Not to give them a free plug or anything, but it was called On This Very Screen instead
Nice.
of in Vince McMahon's In This Very Ring. That's already been done, but I don't know if anyone's spoofing the spoofers. Like, if
Don't do that to yourself, man. Just don't do that.
Is that a bad move? I don't know if I've seen Scary Movie, but I think that's the only one I've ever seen.
I've
of
seen
those.
Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2,
Oh, I did see 2 because
maybe 3, but I don't
Yeah.
know. But not another teen movie I've seen. And like I said, I saw Date Movie in the theater, and that was the last one. I'm like, nope, you have burned me for the last time.
I mean, I hate to dog you here, but it sounds like you've fallen for this a bunch.
Yes. Shame on you. Shame on me. Continually shame on me.
Shame on you.
Shame. I'm done.
Times 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I watched. Definitely saw Scary Movie when it came out. I think I was in 7th grade, so I was exactly the target demo for that.
Oh, yeah.
And then whenever the next one came out, I guess I was probably in 9th grade, I guess. And same thing. I remember David Cross being pretty prominent in Scary Movie 2 as
Yep.
the
And Chris Elliott as well.
Chris Elliott. Yeah, very. It's a
Creepy.
very
It's a creepy hand.
Yeah, he's got the little hand. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I don't.
Oh, that's right. Because David Cross is the one that he doesn't need his help. He can do it yourself. That's right.
Yeah, which is
That's
a
right.
fun
Yes.
gag. Very fun gag.
Yes, he was like I said, 1 and 2 are okay, and then
They've got salvageable moments.
yes, and then the rest of them be like, no more,
Stop.
please.
Yeah. Well, because at a certain point, the Wayans is exited, and it was just like whatever producer was
Yeah,
involved.
it's from a producer of Scary Movie 3
It's-
comes
this-
the rest of them.
At this point, it's like, from the PA of Scary Movie 1. It's like the new one. The guy who brought the Wayans' coffee in Scary Movie 1 is now here to
to ruin your
direct-
life.
to direct Meet the Spartans 2.
Terrible.
I'm now sitting on this idea, and I'm now cursed with it. And boy, I'm really thinking about it. just doing maybe a limited run where we just watch these. I think. Can I make you watch these? Can we do this?
I mean, I'm not going to say no because I'm always down to do podcasting thing, but I might say I hate you.
Oh yeah. Well, but you would be our you'd be our you'd be our guide, our entree into this world because you've apparently seen 2/3 of all of them.
Yeah, I'll just
including
I'll just have to lay on my Boston accent pretty thick when I get more and more angry as I watch them.
Yeah. There we go. What?
Kick that fucking spot in that goddamn hole.
Oh, it would be great, man. I guess plug the old Film Guff podcast one more time and tell us where people can find you on the internet, sir.
Well, FilmGuff is at FilmGuff on Twitter. It's filmguff.net on the internet itself, which I don't really do much as far as on the website itself, but hey, it's there. And I myself on Twitter am Laneit360, LANEIT 360. You follow me if you want, but I follow a very select number of people, so the chance I'm going
Yeah.
to follow you back is probably pretty slim, but we'll see.
Hey, if you make the elite, you make the
Yeah.
cut. Last thing I gotta ask.
Oh,
you.
fuck.
So you got a hatchet man on a chain around your neck right now.
I do. And I have a Ringmaster tattoo on my left shoulder.
So it actually my question has to do with that a little bit because you are my best Juggalo friend. I think you are the Juggalo that I am the closest with. The reveal of the last Joker card.
Okay.
What was your reaction to it? Because it's a thing that we talked about. I cannot remember the exact episode, but we were kind of like postulating on like what would it have been like to have followed this horrorcore band that talks about murder and mayhem and destruction all the way up until the reveal of Shangri-La, the last Joker card, which revealed that the message all along was go to church or believe in a higher power.
I would lean way more towards the believe in the higher power thing. That didn't bother me. I haven't been down since the beginning.
Yeah.
I started with Malenko, and then it was Jekyll Brothers, and then so I was there for those releases. But I don't care enough that it didn't impact me, and I actually really like the Wraith album. So
Yeah, well, that actually has my. I think Juggalo Homies is my favorite song of theirs.
That's on Wraith.
Which is a legit anthem. Like it's
Of
just
course.
fun as shit. Even if you're, if you're one of those people listening and you're like, oh, ICP sucks or whatever, that song is undeniable. They have some jams. I don't know enough about the entire Uva to really speak intelligently about it, but that's a song I reference a lot. And whenever I watch the video, it genuinely is a little bit heartwarming because the whole thing is like, oh, this is like a place where kind of disparate outsiders can sort of meet and have a common interest, you know? So yeah, I don't disagree with you. That's probably my favorite song of theirs as well. But I always just did find it interesting that, you know, the culture around, you know, being a juggalo is very much about like kind of finding a release for aggression or whatever. And then to finally get to, you know, oh, we're building up this mythology of the Joker cards and, you know, the circus and all this stuff. And then to finally get to that. And it's like, believe in a higher power. Like it's like an Alcoholics Anonymous message almost.
And I mean, if you actually look at what the message of each Joker's card is, it's like, you know, the Jekyll brothers, they juggle your sins. So the more that, you know, you sin, one of them is going to try to throw curveballs to make the other one drop it. So like they kind of did that from the beginning. Like each card has something to do with like, you know, being a good person more or less. Okay. I mean, obviously through the lens of, you know, you're murdering people, whatever.
See, I didn't think there was an allegory.
See, there you go. But I mean, they never talk about like killing really innocent people. It's always like, you know,
sinners.
Yeah, and the redneck racists and blah, blah, blah.
Right. Well, and that's another thing that people discount all the time is the persistent anti-racist message of Insane Clown Posse too, which is important, you know. Yep. So anyway, man. Well, yeah. All right. That was my only question, just because I do imagine that there has to be out there somewhere somebody who was listening to was just like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
I done got fucked.
What? 10 years?
Yeah, no, that's
for this.
Myself and my group of friends that listened to it, we were all like, "Meh, whatever. That's just what it is. It's cool." Like, we don't really like. I painted my face for the first couple years and then stopped, but like I never really got like super. I mean,
like into like the mythology. Like,
I mean, the mythology's dope and the artwork is always slick, but I'm like, it's a story that they're telling.
Right.
Like, people can hate them all they want. Those motherfuckers are marketing geniuses.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because juggalos will buy anything with a hatchet man on.
Yeah. Have you read You Don't Know Me, But You Don't Like Me?
Nope.
Oh, might I recommend a book to you, sir? So there's a dude, one of my favorite pop culture writers, and he writes mostly about music and mostly about hip hop. A guy named Nathan Rabin who worked for the AV Club for years and years, and he started off. He did this series about. He's mostly a hip hop head, and wrote this series called Nashville or Bust that I read religiously every time it came out. And it was basically, he was like, I'm a hip hop guy. I've never listened to country music. I'm going to do a week by week exploration of the entire kind of history of country music. And you can still read it on AV Club. It's some brilliant writing. And after that was done, one of his articles is about Buck Owens, and he has that song Streets of Bakersfield, and the chorus is, you don't know me, but you don't like me. You say you care less how I feel, but how many of you would sit and judge me when you walk the streets of Bakersfield? And so the next project he did was he spent a summer following around Fish and a summer following around Insane Clown Posse and wrote about the cultures involved in both.
Because there's a book called Juggalo.
Yeah,
it's written by somebody else.
This is different. Yeah, this one's called You Don't Know Me, But You Don't Like Me.
Interesting.
And the whole thing is about these two kind of malign cultures of like, Fish fans where people are like, yeah, fucking hippies, bullshit. Yep. And then the juggalos of people just being like, oh, these fucking, dipshits or whatever that love Insane Clown Posse. And it's kind of like a whole thing of like comparing and contrasting the two cultures, and then more about the derision of the two cultures and stuff like that.
Yep.
So anyway, very interesting book. I highly recommend it to you. I'll get you that along with that poster from The Good, the Rad, and the Mean.
That poster I need to get at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it. I'll get that for you. Well, yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are listening to this in the South or on the East Coast, chances are I'm coming somewhere close to you. I'm going to be doing stand up on the road all this month and half of next month. On the 12th, you can see me in Auburn, Alabama. April 14th in Nashville, Tennessee. April 15th, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia. On the 17th, I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana. The 18th in New Orleans. Memphis on the 19th. Back in New Orleans on the 20th, Tuscaloosa, Alabama on the 25th, Birmingham, Alabama on the 26th, Knoxville, Tennessee with our buddy DJ Lewis on the 27th, Greenville, South Carolina on the 29th. May the 3rd, I'm going to be in Northumbria, Pennsylvania. May the 4th, I'm going to be in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And
Star Wars Day.
Coming to New York City after that. So
New York City,
get the rope. But yeah, so come see me on the road and listen to the Film Guff podcast. Nick, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, we're about to roll into our second second Wheel of Fast Food episode. If I come to Boston, what's like the local kind of fast food that I need to dig on in Boston? Like, we've got In-N-Out Burger out here.
In-N-Out Burger's overrated as fuck.
That is the hipsterism ever.
I fucking hate it.
That's the new I like their old stuff. That is every time I hear somebody say In-N-Out's overrated. And actually, they're going to say it a bunch in this episode. So,
Well, it is overrated because, see, I'm not a big fan of, like, slop. So when the first time I went to In-N-Out, I'm like, hey, do your burgers have mayo or anything like that on them? And they said no. And then I get the burger and it's got this slop all fucking over. I'm like, that would fall under the or anything like that category, you fucks.
well, it's spread though, baby. It's just spread.
Yeah, so it would be like a mayo-like substance. So yes, get that the fuck away from me.
But it's also got ketchup and relish in it.
It's just vile.
I love it. Anyway, what's the gimmick up there in Massachusetts?
See, I have no idea because I just eat at mostly chain places because I'm fucking.
Well, that's what I'm talking
lazy.
about.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just like McDonald's, Wendy's,
Oh,
Burger King,
okay.
that type
Yeah,
of shit.
national.
But Kelly's Roast Beef is
Okay.
a place that's popular, and then there's seafood stuff. But I don't do seafood, so I got nothing to do with any of them. You know
Oh
what
man, okay.
I mean, if you want to pay top dollar, legal seafood is there.
Legal seafood.
Legal seafood, but that's like
Legal seafood.
legal seafood.
That doesn't instill confidence in me as a consumer.
I don't blame
It's like,
you.
what is this? Oh, well, it's legally seafood.
Yeah, technically it's seafood.
Technically, flotsam is seafood.
Yeah.
We found all of these items in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah, it still came from the ocean, just like lips and assholes for hot dogs. It's still all beef. It came from a cow.
It's legally seafood. All right, I'm driving to Massachusetts. I don't even know if I have a show booked there, but I'm going to fucking drive there just to eat at legal seafood, just to see if I can maybe kill myself doing
It's very, very fancy, is what I'm saying.
legal seafood.
Bro, like, it's not cheap.
I'm
I don't
sorry,
get
I was,
it.
I was trying to end the podcast, but now I have so many questions. Dear
I
Lord.
have zero answers.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to go do some investigation for myself at league. Listen, if you live in Massachusetts, tweet at us because Nick doesn't eat seafood. What the fuck is legal seafood? I'm at Rivers Langley. Email the email. You get on the email. Tweet the show at the Goods Pod. Legal seafood. I love it. All right. Well, cool, man. Nick, thank you so much for being here, and hopefully I'll see you on the East Coast soon.
Hopefully.
Hell yeah, popping bubblies.
Yeah.
Sip a bubbly for the working man. Live at Disgraceland.
It's got all natural flavors, no preservatives, no calories.
They got blackberry.
Keeps me hard.
They got peach. They're putting LaCroix in the sharpshooter.
Keeps me hard. An open mic weirdo came up to me when I was in Texas in January and told me that if you eat watermelon rind, bing, all night long.
I was talking about muscles.
Like that
but-
too?
Yeah.
Bing.
Yikes.
I don't like that at all.
Oy.
Oh my god! A few weeks ago, we had a episode called "Wheel of Fast Food," and of course, Pat built a giant fucking wheel for this episode, and we figured
We might as well use it.
might as well use it. Yeah, I mean, we've got it, so let's
Taking up real estate in Rivers' room. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So we might as well spin the wheel. If you didn't hear the episode, what are you doing? Go back and listen to it. But just briefly, this is a gigantic wheel with a lot of possibilities of things to talk about in regards to fast food.
Yes, indeed. So who wants to go first?
Let's go with Pat.
Okay. Most overrated.
Oh,
which,
boy.
Yeah,
Ooh.
this is.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, indeed it is. But I definitely know what my number one is, and I think this is going to draw a lot of controversy with people.
Yeah. I mean, all of it. When you call anything overrated, I think it does.
Yeah.
But there's so many fast food places that are rated highly for absolutely no reason. I'm from Texas. I'm just going to say it. Whataburger sucks.
Oh, good. I'm glad we didn't have to have that fight.
It's, if it's late at night and there's nothing else open, fine. Go for it.
Bingo. I will say Whataburger, much in the way I talked about Jack in the Box in the previous episode, the fact that it's open 24/7 contributes to people's high opinion of it. I will say Whataburger might be in the top 3 quality wise of 24/7 drive-throughs for sure.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's fine.
The burgers are dry. They got some breakfast items that are all right.
Sure,
The
yeah.
chicken tenders are decent, but yeah, nothing special.
Right.
All right, so I got my 3.
Okay.
So number 3, I'm gonna have to go with Sonic on this one.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have necessarily a big problem with Sonic, as itself, but I think that Sonic creates a sense of hype around it because of the fact that, as we mentioned in the previous episode, they run national ads.
Yes.
But there are not Sonics everywhere.
Yeah.
There's just a limited number of Sonics in particular areas, and in other parts of the country, there aren't there. So there's this big mystery around Sonic.
Yeah.
What's it all about? Why do they have these really annoying commercials that are on during football? I can't have it. I want it. But
Sonic's very polarizing, too.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
love it or hate it.
Well, the one thing you mentioned the national ads, the one thing that's very unique about Sonic is that, and this is for for anybody in Hollywood that might be trying to go out for commercial auditions or things like that, they've had those same 2 fucking guys sitting in a car talking about Sonic for like 15 years now. And if you're a commercial actor, that's like some Jed Clampett, like you hit fucking gold.
yeah, like Flo.
Because
Yeah.
that is so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
They're
know.
2 improv guys,
Two
too.
improv guys, one national commercial that runs as much as those could pay your rent for a year. These guys have had this shit for 15 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So if you actually go to a Sonic, so Sonic, I think, falls into the trap where they try to do too many things.
Yeah.
Right? They try to do too many things. And there are particular things that are good, right? They had
I agree. I agree with that statement.
Yeah, they have particular things like some of their shakes are fine, but they're actual food items.
Yeah.
I find them to have a lot to be desired because they make up for what they are with just piling more stuff on it.
Right.
They kind of have we'll put chili on it, and we'll put onions on it, and we'll put fries on it, and we'll put tater tots on it, and then we'll put cheese on it.
Yeah.
And it becomes this thing where it will give you the worst indigestion of your entire life.
Yeah.
Eating something at Sonic.
It's very greasy.
Yeah, and then
Very
they make up
greasy.
for it in size too, where it's like you can get the 18-inch hot dog, and you don't need that much food in one place.
Yeah, right,
It's I don't know. I always find Sonic to be, if you strip it down past the hype, to be something that is fine, but you shouldn't actively seek it out. Like if you have,
if you just get a regular burger type thing there, you're gonna leave being like, that was decent. But
Yeah.
any of the
Yeah.
specialty items you're talking about, yeah, they're all no good.
I mean, their Coney. I always go back to their Coney Island dog. One of my friends is hopelessly addicted to fast food, and
and it's
just
not me.
Yeah, he's hopelessly addicted. Like, he's one of those people that will see a fast food restaurant and he'll just pull in and order something, right? He's I see a
no.
Wendy's, I got to get me a Baconator. And and I would say Wendy's is kind of in the contention for this, even though their spicy chicken sandwich saves them. But he would get that coney, that long, like foot-long coney with all the stuff on it, and watching somebody eat that is one of the most horrifying things ever. It's
like
that-
watching a snake eat a rabbit or something.
yeah, or like the Komodo dragon eating the goat. Like, it's
Or
just
the goddamn the guy who is feeding the puppy to the snapping turtle.
oh, that's rough. Yeah,
Hot
that's,
dog should not be 12 inches long. And the Dodger dogs they try to sell too that are like fucking 8 inches long.
Yeah.
No, why?
Yeah.
You don't need that.
and there's just this like residue of grease that ends up just
Yeah.
pooling on the bottom of and it can't even be fully sopped up by the white
The
bread
cardboard,
roll.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just brutal. Number 2 is Steak and Shake.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Steak and Shake. I find Steak and Shake to be another one of those restaurants that falls into the trap of regional mythology.
Yeah, I'm
right.
very unfamiliar with Steak and
So
Shake.
Steak
like
and
I know they exist.
Yeah.
But I've never been to
Well,
one.
they've just now got them out here. There's one.
Okay.
There's one on the 3rd Street Promenade
But that
in
one's
Santa
like,
Monica.
but it's Steak and Shake presented by Marciano or something like that. So there's like some guy that's like a chef or some kind of individual who. It's not a real Steak and Shake. It's like it's like a higher end Steak and Shake where they're
okay.
just like somebody that has money and some degree of clout.
That's like such a weird thing of like,
Yeah.
I'm a millionaire, but I desperately want to open a fast food place with my name on it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like Shake Shack, right? Where there's a limited number of them, and there isn't one in California, and somebody's like, I had it once and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
So I need to bring this to
Right. Yeah. Chef Gordon Ramsay presents Islands.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But Steak and Shake, the food at Steak and Shake, first of all, their fries are without a doubt the worst fries known to man.
Okay.
Because they do the extreme like shoestring fries.
Oh, yeah.
That are
yeah.
very thin.
Oh, yeah,
No like substance to them.
Yeah.
And they just kind of petrify.
Uh-huh.
And not in the good way of them being overcooked. They just become really just rock hard.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
can't and it's just they just hang out, and some of them are really soggy. And then they have the burgers, and the burgers, they're quote unquote steak burgers, super duper thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like the thinnest patties, and it's all bun.
Yeah.
It's all bun and stuff, fixins on it, and there's no real substance to it. And Steak and Shake also gets the rub from people because it's 24 hours, right? And you can go in there and just see absolute calamity in a Steak and Shake.
Right.
You will just see just people completely losing their mind because they're on some sort of chemicals, or they're drunk, or they're teenagers, or a mixture of all three, and they just lose their minds. And a Steak and Shake waiter or waitress is probably the most beleaguered human being on the face of the earth. Like, they just have been run over by life.
There's table service at this place?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how Burger King used to, you would order at the counter and then they would bring it to you at the
Okay.
table, kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, somebody with a Godsmack tattoo
Hell yeah.
and a 1,000-yard stare, just like putting down your Frisco melt, just like tonight's going to be the worst night of my life until the next night that I have a shift at 2 a.m.
Yeah, there's a Steak and Shake in Auburn now, but it's not 24 hours. It's the weirdest fucking thing, and it's next door to another one that we haven't even talked about, and I'm not even sure you guys maybe know about this one, which is it's next door to a Cookout. Are you guys familiar with fucking
I am not
Cookout?
familiar with
I have
Cookout.
heard stories of this.
This
but-
is having the penchant for fast food that we all do. This is almost heaven, except that the food's not that great, but it has a fucking ridiculously huge menu.
Okay.
And it's open till usually they're open till 3 a.m. And
Awesome.
they have barbecue sandwiches and fried chicken, burgers. Like, they have this crazy ridiculous menu, but there's one next to the Steak and Shake now, and it has fucked their life.
Yeah.
Because Steak and Shake can't stand up to Cookout.
Oh
next
yeah,
door.
because there's an incredible amount of range, and
Yeah.
also it's so there's a lot of delivery restaurants, and I know in Atlanta this was the case, that would basically serve everything.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
There was one called Chico and Chang's.
Yeah.
That used
Oh,
to
God.
be just Chinese food
And Mexican food.
but they're just like, screw it, we're gonna put burgers into the mix, we're gonna put fried chicken into the mix,
we're
gonna
doing grease.
we're doing grease of all types.
Yeah,
You're going to be drunk. You're going to order it at 3 a.m. You
that's-
might or might not get it.
That's what Cookout is.
Yeah.
And Cookout was based in North Carolina, so they have a bunch of Cheerwine centered options. Like, they have a Cheerwine milkshake and shit like that.
That sounds
Cheerwine
disgusting,
float.
but amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheerwine float would be awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But-
I ate there way too much when I was home because I end up staying out till fucking 3 a.m. with friends, and then it's the only thing open, so it's like, all right.
Yeah,
hit the
Steak and
Cookout.
Shake is a restaurant for people that are afraid of Waffle House. That's what. Yeah, they want something. Yeah, I don't know. So my number one for overrated, and I eat there from time to time, but it's something that I find to be out in California. People are diehard about it, and I just can't get into it whatsoever, especially given the wait and given the craziness of going to this particular place, especially late at night. And that is In-N-Out Burger.
I knew this is what you were going to
Yeah,
say.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you, Monica Scott will kill you the next time she sees you.
Yeah. And
The only thing good you can say about In-N-Out Burger is that they use fresh ingredients, but they don't use them right. So it kind of negates the fact they use the burgers are decent.
the burgers are decent enough. Yeah.
If you want zero options on what you can have on your burger. Like, give me jalapenos. For the love of God,
Yeah.
give me that option.
They got the little pepperoncinis.
I
you can
know.
get.
I ate like 4 of those when I get a burger, but it's not the same. Jalapenos are better.
Yeah, the thing with In-N-Out is that the only option you have is to get more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
well, you
like-
can have your onions caramelized, and you can have like the sauce.
Spread 1,000, but it's just the animal fries where they just slap on a Kraft single on
Their
top
fries
of it.
fucking suck. Yeah. And the worst part is they're like running potatoes through a slicer and instantly throwing them in the fryer. That's not even how you're supposed to make fries.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
supposed to do that and then freeze the potatoes and then fry them, because then they'll get crispier, the inside will get softer. They think they're being fresh. They're fucking it up.
Yeah, it gets super soggy. Especially when you do the animal style fries in a certain way. That sounds, that's awesome. There's onions. Maybe you can get some Thousand Island on it, some cheese. But it's just like you get it. The fries are just soggy as all hell. And then you have just this pile of stuff on top with a Kraft single placed upon it.
It was like they heard about chili fries, and then they were like, how do we do like a chili cheese fries but not add anything to our inventory?
Yeah.
And then they just melted a fucking American cheese on some fries, and they're like, that's decent,
Sure,
I guess.
why not?
Yeah.
And given the fact, and I think that partially the thing is that, in order to get In-N-Out Burger, you're going to have to wait in your car for a good 15, 20 minutes.
Not if you know about the secret one.
What's the secret
El
one?
Segundo.
El Segundo.
Yeah, people go to the damn airport one, and there's a line that spirals around the fucking building. Drive underneath the runway over to the other side of the 105, and there's one in El Segundo.
Okay.
Short line, no wait on the inside.
I went to one that was in like Studio City the other day.
Uh-huh.
It had such a long line.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend just went inside, and
Yeah,
it was
Oh,
you
probably
always-
much faster.
You always have to go inside.
Yeah, and the thing also is that people are just such big fans of it, so they hype it up so much, and it's at the expense of what I think is the superior California chain, and that's Fat Burger. I'm a Fat Burger
It's good. It's better.
fan.
It's better,
like I
for
like
sure.
Fat Burger a lot. I'm not saying it's the best, but I think comparatively, Fat Burger, it has like all the things that you're not limited by the more patties, more cheese thing. You can actually get some stuff on it.
It still
and
takes a long ass time.
it does.
true.
It does. But I
will take the contrarian view.
okay.
I love In-N-Out Burger.
I like it okay.
It is my favorite fast food
Really?
burger. I don't necessarily like the line, but I do find the I don't know. I would call it the immigrant's pride. Call it what you will, but people coming to this fucking state and then trashing our goddamn burger. I'm post hipsterism on this. I embrace it.
What do
I
you
love it.
like about it?
I like the way the burger tastes. I don't know. It's something about it.
Did you get it mushroom grilled? No, not mushroom grilled, but mustard grilled.
Yeah, dude. Animal
Okay.
style, double, animal style, animal fries, Neapolitan shake. That is a fantastic. If you're gonna just go Valhalla with your meal and say fuck it to your health, double, animal style, animal fries, Neapolitan shake, baby. That is my number one fast food
Yeah,
meal.
but animal fries it's a pile.
You don't care that the animal fries are completely soggy. Like when you
I
get the
love it.
regular fries, it's already soggy.
No, I like it. I like the.
I don't
there's
like
some-
my fries
I
to
like,
sweat.
Well, no, as you're there's a delicate balance. It's a lot what we talked about with the previous time we spun the damn wheel on that episode with Blake Hamilton is that there's a limited time. Time is a
Yeah.
ticking. I will absolutely admit that once you order animal fries, you got to eat them within like a minute of getting them because then they do become gross. But I mean, shit, if you nail it, if you nail that time window that you got there, if you Mission Impossible it right under the laser beams into the heart of the matter. Unbeatable.
Yeah.
Also, they do that thing where they wrap your fucking burger. And
Not a fan.
It
Fat
makes
Burger
it-
does that too, though.
It makes it worse though.
and then the cheese sticks to it, and then you have that sort of dilemma where you're like, do I eat this cheese
Of
off
course,
of this paper?
yes. Oh, I
and you
absolutely
do.
do.
And you feel horrible.
No, I love it. I love that.
just
part.
wrap it like a fucking McDonald's burger.
I
I
like-
don't get why they don't do that.
I like scraping that cheese off like it was, peeling paint.
And I like
just
my
fucking
burger
eating it.
falling all over my car seat. Yeah.
I love it. Well, no, I've gotten very good at, you put the box right underneath your chin, and you just eat the whole thing. This is why as I discussed in that other episode, you pull into a nice suburban street where no one can see you and just, gorge in the car like an animal.
Well, In any event, I would say that I'd say number 3 Sonic, number 2 Steak and Shake, and number 1 In-N-Out is the most overrated.
Yeah.
I'm not disparaging any of these places. I just say that the hype does not deliver to the actual.
Oh, I think In-N-Out, the hype delivers every time, but I understand this is an unwinnable. It's an unwinnable argument, and fast food is it's a subjective art form.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't believe the hype. Rivers Langley.
All right.
Hope one about pizza chains comes up. Is anything like that on the wheel?
Well, Rivers got it, and it is worst pizza.
No shit. Wow,
Ooh.
that's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
crazy. You called that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
You had a 1 in 20 shot or 1 in 25
Reality is a
shot.
simulation.
Yeah. Well,
So worst pizza.
so people
bottom 3, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, people have said this before, and I'm almost the wrong person to ask about this because I am as guilty about this as anyone else. But that pizza, even when it's bad, it's pretty good.
I disagree.
I disagree with that.
I mean, it's if you're hungry, man, just even like a damn hot and ready, a $5 hot and ready from Little Caesars ain't the worst thing on the
See,
world.
I think there are
Yeah.
several pizza chains that would rank above that and worse.
yeah, oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, yeah,
I think so too. I think the hot and ready
yeah.
itself is for $5. It ain't bad. You're
Yeah.
gonna take years off your life eating it, but
Have you gotten the $6 one?
yes, with extra pepperoni.
And cheese, so much better for $1. Worth the extra $1. At first, I thought I was like, "Oh, they're trying to scam us," and then I got it, and I was like, I'll be scammed. If this is a scam, scam me."
Call me a Mark.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So coming in at number 3, I'm saying that one. I'm saying Little Caesars because it's not the top of the bottom of the tier, but it's in the bottom.
There's
tier.
about to be a giant argument at the end of this
I-
one. I feel it.
I would say that Little
Caesars is coming in 3. Oh no!
Oh no! I see. The thing with Little Caesars is that I grew up associating Little Caesars as only being in Kmart. I'd be like, oh, that's Kmart pizza, right? And but when you get Little Caesars in a standalone Little Caesars, like Little Caesars in a Kmart is generally very suspect because I think it might be a thing like how they have Starbucks in a
Target.
In a Target. Yeah, actually I should have put Starbucks on my overrated list as number 1. Number 1 Starbucks. But I would say that when you get a standalone one, it's not the worst. It's passable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said.
I've been into Little Caesars where terrible things are happening and the pizza were still good. I've been to a Little Caesars where an employee was ducking behind a box, and then when she noticed I had walked in through the front door, she came out and I saw the meth pipe in her hand.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
They're just smoking tweak in the back of the store. The pizza was still pretty good. I've been in another time, they're just blatantly smoking weed in the store. It fucking reeked of it. They were all on like pills, like Xanax or something. Pizza's still good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I worked at a Hungry Howie's, and most of us were drunk.
yeah.
The whole time.
You'd have to be.
Their pizza's Teflon. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing goes bad with it. Nothing sticks.
Detroit style, baby.
But yeah, then coming in at number 2. Oh, well, we had an episode where we went to this place. Coming in at number 2, Shakey's.
Oh
yeah.
man.
Their
So-
fried chicken's better.
So
Yeah.
Shakey's, and I think we talked about this. The episode's called Bunch of Lunch. We actually went to a Shakey's and recorded an episode there,
Damn.
eating the Shakey's
Jealous
pizza.
I missed out
Hey,
on
we
that
could do
one.
Bunch of Lunch too, baby, anytime you want. Because, like I said, I'm the wrong person to ask for this category because I will actively eat any of these things I'm talking about at the
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
of a fucking hat. You are not going to be able to talk me out of pizza, no matter how supposedly disgusting. But Shakey's, and when we did the episode, I think I mentioned this and sort of recanted a little bit because I think it was regional specific. There's a Shakey's in my hometown, and when it opened, I had it, and Shakey's obviously has pizza, but they also have fried chicken.
And Mojo potatoes.
Mojo potatoes. And so
And a bar.
and a bar
You can
called
go-
Ye Old Pub or something.
Yeah, and you can go in and
have the saddest afternoon of your
They
life.
have TVs and they claim they like show sports in there, and I couldn't imagine going to Shakey's to like order a pitcher and watch the game.
I almost went to watch the Super Bowl at Shakey's one time because I was just like, well, you know,
If it was happening during the lunch buffet, I'd do it.
bunch of lunch. Yeah.
But the reason I put it in at number 2 is my first experience with Shakey's. The actual pizza, the sauce had the taste of the smell of aluminum cans in a hot dumpster in the sun. Like it had this very distinct metallic taste, but you mix it with like the weird smell of like old beer and heat.
Yeah.
And it was just too much. And then when I had the California version of Shakey's, it wasn't as it didn't have that.
Shakey's has the consistency that I associate with Boboli pizzas. Yeah, like I don't know if you ever.
The crust is the worst part.
Yeah, it's it's like white bread kind of. And because when I was a kid, when I was like a little kid, Boboli came out, and my mom especially definitely fell headfirst into the Boboli craze.
My mom too.
Yeah, and we would make the pizzas, and it would just be like you were eating something akin to Red Baron French bread pizzas, but not as good.
But your mom was like, "I'm a good mom for making this."
Oh, okay. I had to look up Boboli because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But those are those like the crust that they sell in the bag.
we called them bobbly.
Yeah.
Boboli. Yeah. No, that's
It's essentially like Lunchables was bigger.
yeah, huge Lunchable pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then coming in at number one, we raised its vile specter earlier. It's Cece's, and Cece's pizza buffet. But God damn it, if you can't order about 70 of them for takeout for, let's say, a Renaissance festival that you're putting on in Auburn, Alabama in 2010, and we got fed Cece's every fucking day for a week. And, you know, when you're making a pizza, having worked in several pizza places, you're supposed to take you get one spoon, you're supposed to put all the sauce down and spread it across the entire pizza. These people would just spread it a little bit, and you would have about a finger length of crust with all of the stuff in the middle. It's just an incredible amount of the bread to pizza ratio was absolutely inexcusable.
The people who work at Cece's, remember how I was talking about earlier, the Little Caesars people are on meth? Those people just like got out of prison and can't wait to go back at Little Cece's. They do not care at Cece's. It's so fucking bad.
I think the thing with Cece's is that Cece's, I don't have a huge issue with Cece's.
They have a macaroni and cheese
That's
pizza.
the problem that I have, is that macaroni and cheese pizza.
Oh,
that
see,
they
I
have.
doff my hat to innovation. I love that.
There's certain ideas that
Taco
should have been
pizza.
left on
The drawing board.
Yeah, left on the drawing board, and it was that pizza is just weird
They have the
because
taco pizza though too.
taco pizza's okay,
Yeah.
but the
El Pollo Loco has macaroni and cheese. I found this out the other day. I didn't realize that.
yeah, but there's some sort of weird uncanny that the pasta isn't burnt, because you'd think it would be burnt because it's in an oven, but it's mushy.
Yeah.
And it's got that weird sort of Kraft singles sort of taste to it. Like
Yeah.
it's Kraft macaroni and cheese just thrown onto bread.
It's something you eat one time. And then if you go back for more, there's something wrong with your tongue and or brain.
I went to me and my buddy drove out to Chino Hills, which is the closest Cece's one afternoon, because we were just like, we're going to Cece's. That's decided. And we went, and I think the only thing that saves Cece's is not anything orthodox pizza wise, but that dessert pizza they have, come on.
Is that okay?
They can throw some chocolate syrup on some bread at Cece's.
in my head brain that was great, but I don't think I've had Cece's since. I haven't had the dessert pizza since like 2004.
Yeah.
And I haven't had Cece's since that weird Renaissance festival thing we did in 2010. But in my memory the dessert pizza wasn't that bad, but I was also a stupid child.
Yeah.
So-
See, the thing with me is that there is this sort of situation of when you get inundated with a particular type of pizza, it might, especially like the kind of budget chains. When I coached Special Olympics, one of the big sponsors of Special Olympics Florida is Hungry Howie's, and I know you used to work there.
Used to work there. Yeah.
We would get Hungry Howie's all the time, and it was like Hungry Howie's that had been sitting out because they did the massive order of it.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it was just like
It's barely edible already.
it just became very cardboard like, very like Chuck E. Cheese pizza. I always think Chuck E. Cheese pizza as being
man.
the dirt worst like
Oh, wow, okay.
pizza Like my least favorite is Papa John's, but for different reasons.
Right? Yeah.
But I think 7-Eleven pizza and Chuck E. Cheese pizza is in a special like strata
Any
of
type
bad
of
pizza
you get at an amusement place, like they have laser tag or something.
yeah.
The pizza is gonna be fucking terrible
because they know that there's a bunch of kids there with Rivers' mindset where it's just
Yeah,
like if
pizza
it
is
looks like
pizza.
pizza,
Yeah.
it is pizza and I'm gonna love it. But honestly, CC's is not that good, but I always think of it as a cost to benefit ratio.
Right. Yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to bring up. On this list, we're just basically talking about pizza that tastes gross. But for the price point, Papa John's and Pizza Hut should maybe be on this list.
I think
they're so expensive
I think
for
Pizza
what
Hut-
they are.
Pizza Hut gets the okay from me because a personal pan pizza at Pizza Hut is great. I love personal pan pizza at Pizza Hut. I think Papa John's is so bland and so just
bad.
Yeah, and then how much it costs. Yeah,
It's expensive too for the
Pizza Inn is terrible too.
Oh, Pizza Inn, yeah.
But Rivers hasn't. I don't think
Yeah.
Rivers has had Pizza Inn,
I
so
haven't.
he doesn't.
I don't think I've had Pizza Inn. I did want to shout out the one that I've gotten real into recently. That's a good one. Is Blaze. Have you fucked with the Blaze?
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe once. I don't know. I've seen them around for
So
sure.
they're all over LA. I don't know how widespread they are, but LeBron James is heavily invested in
Yeah,
the
like,
Blaze
I think
company.
it was 15% of Blaze.
Yeah, and so when he first came to LA to play for the Lakers, they did a free Blaze day where they just, if you went to Blaze, you just got a free pizza. And I've been fucking hooked ever since LeBron came to town. And it's like kind of the Chipotle approach to pizza where they have all of the ingredients laid out so you can be like, all right, I want peppers and I want this and this
Ah.
and this. And they that shit is good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I've
yeah,
heard
they
it's
have like
good.
they had like Pizza Rev. I don't know if it's still around, but that's
Yeah.
like very similar.
Same concept, but yeah,
Yeah.
they've got you get a half pizza and a salad. I feel like I'm doing an ad. A half pizza and a salad for $10, and it's like the best lunch. It's perfect. So
Yeah.
shout out to Blaze for doing it right.
And they actually have like a fire. At least they give the impression of a fire oven,
Yeah.
right? Where there's an open flame
It's a
and there's
gas
like
fire, but it's
a
still a
gas
fire.
fire, but there's still like stone on the bottom
Yeah,
of it, as opposed to the conveyor belt that Domino's has.
Yeah, sure.
Which
And Howie's too.
Yeah, Howie's all the greats.
All the greats.
I want to give a shout out to the pizza at Flappers Comedy
Oh
Club.
fuck yeah!
Have you ever had this?
No, I've not.
It's actually good.
Really?
I've never won the fucking pizza spot. Have you?
No, because they stopped doing it by the time I
Oh,
moved to
shit.
town.
Yeah, this is how much stand-up comedy pays in LA. If you were the best comedian on any given night at Flappers, you got a piece of pizza.
yeah.
Apparently, legend is
Well, you can't eat drink tickets.
Flappers. Flappers used to be a macaroni grill.
Yeah,
was,
Romano's. Yeah.
So they still have all the like same equipment in the kitchen. So they do
Yeah.
like wood-fired oven pizzas there.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
actually decent. If you go to the open mic, you can be a comic.
Oh yeah.
Tell them you're a comic. You can order a pizza, cheese pizza for $5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of
It
fries.
has so much cheese on it. It has so much cheese, it's almost gross, but it's delicious.
Yeah.
Speaking of fries, I fuck with their buffalo fries all the time. That's the best thing on the menu.
Former guest Jim Bruce has an amazing joke about 7-Eleven pizza. And he just says 7-Eleven pizza is not pizza. It's not pizza. I can punch you in the face and say this is pizza, and it's more convincing of being pizza than actually eating 7-Eleven pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had Hunt's Brothers pizza?
Oh, fuck yeah, I
This is
have.
some straight gas station
Yeah.
pizza.
Oh yeah.
Or Godfathers, man.
Yeah.
Godfathers
Yeah.
is quite weird.
one of my earliest drinking stories was we all drank Southern Comfort in a field in Salem, Alabama, and the only thing in Salem, Alabama is the gas station, which is called The Store, and there's a huge sign that just says The Store, and we all drank Southern Comfort and walked from my friend's farm, so from this field, walked like, almost a mile to The Store and ate the shit out of a bunch of Hunt Brothers pizza, and it was
Yeah.
great. So
Hunt's Brothers Pizza.
My-
It's also truly terrible. I've
Hunt's
never had a good experience with Godfathers or Hunt's Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, well, we had a good experience with Herman Cain. He was great.
But yeah, so your bottom three, I guess, would
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm the wrong person to ask for this because I'm always biased in my eternal love of pretty much all things pizza. You know.
The stuffed crust pizza at Pizza Hut seems like it should be a great idea, but it is horrible. I just want to throw that out there while we're talking
be.
pizza.
Yeah.
I kind of like stuffed crust.
Well, there was-
If you have like a marinara to dip the crust in, it's like a shitty cheese stick, basically. But if you don't have that, it's really fucking bad.
Oh, and if you work at Pizza Hut, it's a pain in the butt to actually put it together and cook. Because Raj was talking about that. Raj
oh, that's
Desai
right.
when he was on.
Where'd
yeah.
the cheese go? Episode.
He talked about it, and it's funny because he has a lot of jokes about Pizza Hut, and it come to find out he worked at a Pizza
worked
Hut,
at one.
and stuffed crust pizza is very difficult to put together.
Yeah, well,
and
it's
it's not necessarily worth it. And they kind of have it's like polio string cheese,
Yeah.
like long polios.
I'm going to be honest. I just thought it was frozen. Like they just got that crust
It
frozen.
probably should have been. That
Yeah.
seems like the easier way. But Raj told us, they actually would take string cheese and have to roll it in the crust.
Damn, that's exactly what it tastes like.
What it
Yeah.
is.
All right, so
Coming in at number 3, you got Little Caesars. Number 2, Shakey's and Ye Old Pub. And of course, number 1 with the big star, CC's Pizza.
all right. Most hilarious menu item.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This is a thinker. And I think that one of the things I want to say is something we talked about in the last episode. And it's not hilarious for its name or anything, just the chicken things at Domino's. It's a pizza related item. It's like
Chicken thing.
I don't even know. It has a name.
I don't know if they call them wings, right? Because there is a thing like with DiGiorno pizza. They have the things that go with them are wings,
Yeah.
WYNGZ,
Yeah.
as I mentioned before. That's a thing that has been the terms of wings has been dictated by the USDA.
Yeah, you
Where-
can only throw so much trash meat in something and still claim it's meat.
Yeah. So there's like this sort of percentage, and there's like that. So the line between a boneless wing and wings is very sort of. I mean, it's law. I'd love to,
Oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. Domino's launches pizza with a breaded chicken crust.
That's
Sounds
horrible.
That sounds different than what we're talking about.
Well, no, but it's the little chicken bits
Oh,
that you're
okay.
talking about.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
They've turned it into the crust of the pizza.
That's
Jesus
horrifying.
fucking Christ.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the most hilarious items just because it's like, why would you think anybody would want? How did this get out of the test kitchen? Like, how did people eat this and be like, yeah, I would pay money for this if you sold it?
The crispy bacon and tomato specialty chicken is what it's called, and it's just a basket with cheese on top of weird breaded chicken.
they're mesmerizingly bad.
It's crazy how bad. When you reminded me, it just like brought back that night where I got them, and I was just like, "What the fuck is this? I can't believe this exists."
Yeah, it's like one of those weird undersea monsters that they go deep into the deep sea and they come across some weird fish with like
the angler fish.
yeah, an angler fish, but with like 2 heads and like stone teeth, and it's just like only in the deep sea could this exist, and we have no way of classifying it.
So
That's very similar.
It's called Domino's Pizza Specialty Chicken. The chicken bites are the first new menu item in Domino's relaunch from 2012 when they were like, hey, you remember how we suck ass?
Yeah.
Let's put butter on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Which helped.
yeah, I
Did.
guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although it's really bad for pizza hangovers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Domino's is offering 4 flavor options for these chicken things: crispy bacon and tomato,
Yikes.
spicy jalapeno and pineapple,
Oh.
God damn it.
sweet barbecue bacon, and classic hot buffalo. Oh, those are the yeah.
So basically, they just take a marinara, barbecue, or buffalo sauce,
Yeah.
cover it in these chicken things, and cheese, and bake it in the oven.
Yeah, I think the Hawaiian one is like the least horrifying.
And that's saying something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
although I've stoked up a love of Hawaiian pizza lately.
Oh,
which
really?
Is very, could be controversial to some.
Oh,
but-
not me.
It's okay.
yeah.
I think it's not my favorite thing on pizza, but it's fine.
If I'm introducing a pineapple element, I always like to go. You get the pineapple, the ham, classic, but then I always tack on onions and banana peppers, and that way you get a bit of a tang
Yeah, you
in
need some
addition to the
spicy.
sweetness.
Yeah. I do jalapenos, but Rivers is a veteran of Hungry Howie's Test Kitchen. So
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I had
informal test
I
kitchen.
had years and years to perfect this.
So
Yeah.
That's a hilarious menu item. Another one, I'm just going to say the salad at Anywhere.
yeah.
Any fast food place that has a salad is just
Yeah.
like, why?
There was like the McDonald's had the salad shakers.
Oh my god.
It was like
yeah.
salad in a cup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could fit it in a cup holder.
Which led to the SNL sketch.
Juicy iceberg lettuce, tangy mayonnaise. Shred it up just the way you like it, slightly heated, and served in a bag. Lettuce and mayonnaise rock! Oh yeah, kick all that old stuff to the curb and get the shredder. Slick mayo with iceberg refreshment. Woo! It'll rock your world. The oil spots let you know that the mayonnaise is good. I'm a big man, and I need a big shredder. Whoa, dude, just giganticize it. For 99 cents more, you get a whole pound of iceberg lettuce and 3 cups of mayo.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I think like they're usually they make sense in theory, right? And I've definitely at points in which I felt very body conscious ordered a salad instead of fries.
Right.
And they're always kind of
Covered in sugar.
yeah. And it's weird because they've been setting around so much.
Yeah.
Nobody
and
orders them.
yeah, and the preservatives that they probably put on the lettuce and the tomatoes in order for them to like
You can't preserve either of those things
Yeah.
for
Yes.
longer than 24 hours.
So
it
it's-
just doesn't work.
yeah, so you kind of in a weird way are doing a certain type of damage that saturated fats would like that level of
Yeah.
danger. Like
Yeah.
you know, you're on the razor's edge.
So you know what it is, right? How they keep all that shit fresh because it's weird and gross.
Yeah.
They will a lot of times if you're trying to actually save some money, they'll get like a mortar and pestle and you'll grind up vitamin C and then mix it in a solution with water and spray either your apples, your lettuce, anything like that. You spray it with this like solution of like straight up vitamin C, and it keeps the apples from browning. It keeps like whatever you've got
Jesus
on there.
Christ.
And I've had to be the guy to like grind up the vitamin C pills and spray it. And I felt like the fucking Rajneesh or something. Just
Yeah.
like, this
Let me
is-
drug this food.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's what it is. That's how if you get like a harvest apple salad from Wendy's and those apples are somehow not brown, like no other apples you've ever had, because
Yeah.
apples the half life on an apple is about 15 seconds.
yeah.
Those stay crispy and white because they're soaked.
I
in
did not know
vitamin
that.
C. Yeah.
Because I would sometimes I'd roll with the apple dippers at
that's how
Mickey D's.
and they don't taste like any apples you've ever had. do they?
No, they did. They tasted like oranges. It's very weird.
That's why.
Yeah, but the real draw to it was the caramel.
The caramel sauce. Yeah, it's a caramel delivery system.
Yeah, I just think that if you're the kind of person who's on a diet that you need to eat salad or you can't eat fat, like you can't eat other stuff there, why did you even walk through the door of the place? Like
Yeah.
you fucked up in your life previously that day to like land you in the situation where
Yeah.
you're like, give me iceberg lettuce with the driest grilled chicken that I've ever. Put some fake grill marks on that for me.
The only addendum to that, and this barely counts as a salad, but Wendy's about 3 years ago brought back the taco salad, which is literally just a cup of their chili,
Oh, yeah.
a bag of chips, and some iceberg lettuce, and you just pour it on a plate, and like you have to make it yourself. But goddamn, boys, I had that about every day for a week before I completely burned myself out on it.
Yeah,
And you're still here to this day.
I said I lived.
like-
You're not living in an iron lung.
Yeah.
You don't need to have your colon replaced.
Exactly.
So we have
that's-
have thus far from your end
every salad.
Every salad.
Every salad, okay.
The chicken pizza.
Yeah, the chicken items.
And I mean, I guess I'm just going to go, this feels hack to do, but it's the classic, the the fucking Double Down.
The Double Down.
Yeah.
From KFC. Just
Yeah.
2 chicken breasts with cheese and bacon in between.
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound good. Like,
Yeah.
It was just one of those, look at me, we're fucking up over here.
Yeah. Well, and the Double Down is the sequel in a lot of ways to the Famous Bowl.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because the Famous Bowl comes out, and it's their best-selling menu item. Patton Oswalt has the very famous routine about it, and it's almost as if, because I'm still a big fan of his. I would listen to that bit, and then as that was like gaining in popularity around 2007. That was the next thing. So, and Patton even talked about this, like that he did some review of it for The Onion, for the AV Club, and he was like, it's as if they're trolling me.
Yeah.
Like, I made fun of their thing. It was like, oh, you thought chicken bits and mashed potatoes is weird? You fucking idiot. Look at this.
Yeah.
I had a friend who worked at KFC around the time of the Famous Bowl, and he said that it was like selling crack.
Yeah.
People would just come in every day to get them.
Yeah. Oh, I had
Because you can eat a square meal fast. Yeah.
And
just
you don't
pile it.
You don't get your hands all greasy like
Yeah.
you would with any other thing at KFC. Can
yeah.
you guys think of any other hilarious?
The Baconator.
The Baconator.
Yeah, that one was. I remember when that came out. It was kind of positioned as the most extreme thing a fast food restaurant had ever offered. Like they kind of just said it flat out. It's like, this thing will kill you. It's the
Yeah.
Baconator.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember my friend who was also the one that would go to Sonic and order the massive Coney dog. So man knows no fear. He ordered a Baconator, and it was
How many patties?
it was, I think he got 2. And I remember he just like he took a bite out of it and surveyed it and just shoved it under my face. And he was like, look at this. And it was just the most, it was like a Hieronymus Bosch painting. Like it was just like the cheese and the individual strips of maybe bacon coming out of it, like that kind of really thin bacon that is bacon, but it doesn't look like the bacon
And if you drop it on the ground, it will disintegrate into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah,
Brittle.
Yeah, but no, it was like soggy because it was encased in so much fat, and he just like shoved it right under my face, and I was just horrified.
Yeah,
when I saw it. Yeah,
the nacho cheese has become like a common thing at fast food places, but this was Wendy's when they first kind of like they're like, we're gonna put the nacho cheese on more stuff than we have been already, and oh my god, the color of it is like so different compared to any other nacho cheese sauce. Because I'm from Texas, people use that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
At like baseball games,
Right.
shit like
and it
that.
either comes in the bag that you have to put in the machine to heat it up, or it comes in the can.
Yeah.
Ortega.
Yeah, exactly. But Wendy's found some like new brand that's making some like
it's like Nickelodeon orange. Kind of.
it's like orangish. Ugh.
Yeah, it's and kind of the conceit of the Baconator was that Wendy's was always kind of on the straight and narrow with a lot of their items.
They're
right?
trying to be quality until Dave Thomas stuff.
And then they just kind of like went unhinged one day and were like, we're going to make the Baconator, which probably was like the COO's nickname in his fraternity, that he was the Baconator.
Yeah, I did find a photo. I'll put this up on our Twitter of me eating the famous bowl when it first came out. There's I went with a bunch of friends and I made them take a picture.
You
of
look
me
happy.
eating
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
I was reading what I wrote about it, and I was like, oh, it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, there are things with fast food restaurants that on the surface sound horrifying, but are actually great. One time I went to a combination Pizza Hut Taco Bell, and I got a chalupa, and it was the chalupa's the one with the
fried, kind of fried flour tortilla.
Yeah.
Fried
So I
bread.
got one of those, and I got a personal pan pizza, and I just dropped the chalupa on top of it, Baja chalupa,
and made
with
like
beans.
a sandwich, kind of.
Yeah, and I cut it up and made like
You are
Fuck.
you are a pervert.
Oh my!
and it was
fantastic. There's a combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell in Echo Park, and I can't promise that when you guys leave, I won't sneak out of this apartment and go there and do that exactly.
I think it's actually a combination KFC and I think they dropped the Pizza Hut element and went KFC on.
Oh, is it KFC Taco
Yeah,
Bell?
so you can't. I think you
yeah.
might have to go all the way down to Venice Boulevard and La Brea for that one.
I was about to have to ask where it was.
Yeah, because that's the one where I made that creation, and everybody on Facebook was horrified by it, except for Joe Raines. Joe Raines was like, "Oh man, I got to do one of those."
A lot of the times when you combine two processed foods together that taste good by themselves, it tastes good together.
yeah, it's additive. Like
Yeah.
the good and the good equals gooder. Yeah, double good. But
Taco Bell has a bunch of hilarious items where they're just like, yeah, we wrapped an extra tortilla around a taco.
Right.
Yeah.
Filled it
right.
with cheese.
Oh God, no! We didn't even hit on like their venture down the surrealistic rabbit hole of the chicken chips.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all
Does
about
anybody remember that shit? They had
Yeah.
triangular pieces of thinly sliced chicken that were so deep fried they became sort of like rigid, and they came with cheese sauce, and it was chicken chips.
yeah, which I think it was kind of even weirder because it wasn't like in the way in which you would get like pork rinds or chicharrones.
Yeah.
It was just like overcooked dry chicken that
Yeah.
we're just gonna put like nacho stuff.
Well,
on,
in the way
you know?
that
Yeah.
in the way that the Double Down was KFC's sequel to the famous bowl, the chicken chips were their sequel to the naked chicken chalupa.
Yeah.
which is a chalupa where the shell is a piece
Yes,
of chicken.
yes, that's bad.
No,
That's
it's
not good,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, there was.
It's fucking
well, there was
the
like
best
that
thing
when they
I've ever
started
eaten.
doing breakfast where they had the waffle sort of
Oh, yeah,
dealy.
yeah. So
Taco Bell is just because they go into that direction of like the gamer sort of restaurant.
right,
They
right.
just feel free to just be like mass nutrients.
how savage is your menu?
yeah, how sad, and it's just like you can wash it down with Mountain Dew Game Fuel, which
Baja Blast, baby.
I think
Baja
is
Blast,
yeah. Do they sell Game Fuel there? 'Cause-
probably.
Occasionally.
yeah.
They always have second flavors of Mountain Dew. Lately, it's been like energy drink Mountain Dew they have in the fountain machine.
And they have AM Mountain Dew for the breakfast breakfast stuff.
Have you ever
yeah.
What?
seen that?
Yeah. Do you not know about AM Mountain
No.
Dew?
There's a fuckload of flavors of Mountain Dew now. Like
Yeah.
a fuckload.
Because there was like Baja Blast, there was Code Red. Obviously, I've drank a ton of Code Red in my day.
Yep.
Test market for Code Red, my high school. So I probably taken years off my life with it. And then there was Game Fuel, but there's different varieties of Game Fuel. There was
Yeah.
like Halo Mountain Dew,
Yeah,
which
which
I don't know what it tastes like.
Livewire.
Livewire.
I loved Livewire.
They have that in a lot of the
AM Mountain
fountain.
Dew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So
Yeah.
it's like a
It's
like a
like orange juice and Mountain Dew mixed
oh
together.
my God! So it's
basically.
like the most just warped mimosa ever.
Yeah.
It's a Warped Tour mimosa.
Yeah.
Yeah. They call it, actually. Yeah.
That is
The poster, by the way, and I'll put this on our Twitter because it's fucking hilarious. It says, new Mountain Dew AM, mixology of Mountain Dew and OJ. and,
mixology of Mountain Dew
and
always
it
ends
just,
up bad.
And it just looks like two severe diabetics peeing into a cup. It is fucking horrifying.
AM Mountain Dew. Oh my God! Because I thought that the worst Mountain Dew concoction was the redneck margarita that was the creation of Tom, one of the subjects from Queer Eye's newest first rebooted season, where it was like Pepe Lopez well tequila.
Oh,
and
God.
Mountain Dew, and he would just drink that out of a reusable soda mug.
Oh, my God. Dude,
which hey, I've had that before. I
Yeah.
had that in high school. Not the best.
Oh, dude,
it's
shout out to my boy Chuck Tiz listening in Birmingham. If you just talk about something ridiculous long enough, you'll end up doing it. And just for funsies, he was always just like, we're like, oh, what are we drinking tonight? And he'd be like, vodka Mountain Dew, which is not a thing, but he made it a thing. And by the end of his tenure in Auburn, we were drinking vodka Mountain Dews.
Oh,
yeah.
I know somebody used to drink whiskey Mountain Dew all the time. And
Yeah.
that person, my father.
Shout out to Mr. Harder listening out there in Radio Land.
That's how you truly slam harder.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. We'll have to come back and spin this damn wheel again.
Yeah, we're not going to retire it. It'll
Yeah.
be around. I mean, it's been constructed.
It's here.
and it's taking up space.
Taking
and-
up so much space, we're gonna have to spin it again. So, but yeah, we'll if you tweet at us, we'll let you spin the wheel and see what you come up with. Find
Spin
us-
the wheel, make the deal.
Yeah.
Tweet at us and tell us which fast food items we should combine, and we'll do it on the podcast.
Oh, that's
and try it.
Yes,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you have a weird combo, oh, that's fucking great. Yeah. Tell us what we should eat, and we'll eat it on the air next time we come back together and do this. That was fantastic.
Because I've done the McDonald's double cheeseburger with the McChicken patty in it.
Yeah.
Not too shabby, but there's
Yeah.
probably better, sort of more warped creations that might be great, or you just might hear us gag on audio.
Yeah.
I'm doing that chalupa pizza. That sounds
It's
incredible.
Tremendous with the beans.
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right up my
Taco
alley.
Bell's good. I want to give a shout out to Taco Bell for never showing up on any of these lists.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, consistent.
Yeah.
Like it's just where it's not going to be on the best, it's not going to be on the worst. They keep their bathrooms non-wild. They they're not overrated.
Yeah.
And you know what? They don't serve pizza. They have the Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Which-
a weird thing.
It's a
I
weird
love the
thing,
Mexican pizza.
But
Yeah.
you know what? We're not going to denigrate it. So congratulations, Taco Bell, for just being you.
Absolutely. Well, that was fun. Sam, where can people find you online?
Slam harder on Twitter.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Goods from the Woods podcast. I got one more show to announce. This just came in, hot off the wire. If you live in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, come see me on May the 2nd at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be at the Planet Bar. So looking forward to seeing everybody in Pennsylvania. And next week, we've got one more episode that we recorded at Disgraceland Studios. And then basically, I'm going to be on the road for the next month. So I'm going to be still delivering episodes, but they're going to be road episodes. So Pat and Sam will be back here in LA. And then we'll all come back together at the end of May. So stay tuned for those. We got a lot of cool interviews coming up. I'm going to go down and hang out with our friend DJ Lewis. Our friend Monica Scott will be back on the show. Nick Thomas, a lot of the favorites from the Goods episodes past will be back in the next month or so. So just stay tuned with the show. And Pat, what should the folks do when they get to iTunes?
They should rate, review, and subscribe, and tell a friend. It shows the attitude of gratitude. And as Mr. Goodnight would say, if you don't have the attitude of gratitude, fuck you.
We'll see you next week. The Goods from the Woods was mixed, edited, and distributed by me, Rivers Langley. You can find the show on Twitter at The Goods Pod. Our theme song was composed by DJ Smiles. Check him out on Twitter at DJ Smiles.